Hey everyone, Dale here with Pacific Sun Technologies. So as I had alluded to in my last video, I would be doing a video detailing the difference in net metering and net billing and showing you how significant of the difference this program is. It's not killing the solar industry as so much of these advertisers like to really emphasize on. It is going to shift the industry. We're absolutely going to see a reduction in solar projects, but that doesn't mean people aren't still going to go solar, because there's still a lot of money to be saved. It's just you're going to have to make a larger upfront investment by means of not just purchasing a solar system. You have to purchase your solar system with batteries under the net billing program. And I'm going to model that for you now that we have the net metering 3.0 software finished. Now, it's important to note that NEM 3.0 is actually like the wrong term to be using. It should actually be called net billing. So that's just for your own reference. It's just, one of those things. They're two different types of programs. Net metering is the program we're leaving, and we're transitioning to net billing. So it's an NEB, not an NEM kind of thing. And that's important to note because of net billing being a different type of structure than net metering, which leads us to this video and helping you see why you can't just go solar after April, and you'll have to buy a battery if you want to still save money. But before we dive into the details of the video, I wanted you to make sure to subscribe to our channel. Yeah, go ahead and do that. And of course, if you live in our area of Southern California, then you probably want to request your quote. I strongly recommend anybody watching this to share it with your friends and family that have homes that haven't gone solar yet, because they're going to, if they wait, they're going to have to buy their system in the future with batteries after April. And I wouldn't wait until April to go solar. It's one of those things, I'm not trying to get you to go right away, but you probably should be making a decision sooner rather than later, only because we don't know how long the NEM program will stick around. We know the cutoff date's in April, 13th, 14th, 15th, somewhere in that range, but we don't know how long the utility company is going to continue processing net metering applications, or if they start to drag their feet. Because under the current rules that the PUC put into place, the utilities basically need to allow customers to get a valid NEM status even if the system's installed after April. If you get that valid NEM status, then you're grandfathered in under net metering 2.0. So I would say you probably want to, get your hustle going, but don't just go with the first company. It's really important you do your due diligence, absolutely. But hopefully this video helps you and gets you interested in going with us. The importance of this video is for you to see how valuable it is to go solar right now, rather than waiting until after April and having to buy your system with batteries. You're going to be spending more, and you're going to see that here. But we want to see why you're having to spend more as well, and what that return on investment is going to look like. So that way you can see that the industry is not dying, it's just shifting. It's going to be different. So I got just this general house up. Right now I'm going to add some more modules to it. I have a good 3D modeling. This house has got some shading going on from tall trees. Not a big deal. So far I'm at a 7.6 kilowatt solar system. That's giving us 118% offset. So we're right at a sweet spot. This system's going to generate just over 12,078 kilowatt hours. So we're right where we kind of want to be in terms of a solar system. Now, one thing we're going to do is we're just going to look at the cash price. So here's our model. 18%, 118% offset, 12,000 kilowatt hours. Net system price, $16,725. We're right under 24,000. This is a cash price, so there's no financing included on this price. And you have your 30% tax credit, just under 72,000. So this is what you're looking at, 16,000. Now, we've added some new details into our proposals. Before, we just had this system performance chart, which kind of showed you your estimated daily production versus your consumption. And this is just to kind of give you a gauge. It's pretty helpful. But we've added a detail energy profile chart because you're going to be looking at batteries now more so with net billing. And so again, this is just net energy metering. This is the current NEM 2.0 program that I'm demonstrating. And you can see how your production kind of changes depending upon the seasons and how much you're offsetting. When you don't have a battery, you're not going to offset 100% of your usage because solar is only generating right here during the day. So, your weekend, weekdays, you can see on average your self-consumption from the solar is going to be around 33%, and your export to the grid is about 67%. So if we go down to electric bill savings, so 10,000 kilowatt hours with SoCal Edison is around $300. This is, depending on what region you're in Edison territory, it might be a little more, it might be a little less. If you're on care or medical baseline, it might vary, but just for simplicity's sake, our tool, we kind of just went region 10, and that gave us an average of $294. Now, after going solar, you paid cash, you're going to have your interconnection fees, that ranges from $10 to $20 a month, and then you might get a bill of $3, give or take per month on average with this model. So over the life of the system, over 25 years, you can expect to save $145,000. So this is a very significant amount of money, and you make it back relatively quick. So if we look at the net financial impact, so this is the utility bill savings, this is the net system cost, so that's your estimated net savings. Obviously you had to make that initial investment. We're looking at a payback period of 4 years and 6 months. Basically, you've made back your money by not paying Edison $300 a month. And we're only taking into account here a 4% annual rate increase with the utility provider, which is really low. If you look at the historic data, there's definitely been a trend where they've been increasing their rates more than 4%, especially in the last 3 years alone. So that's a really, really good return on investment. And if we look at not annual, but the detailed financials, you can see your net present value of the system. That's like your cashed value. Yeah, you spent 25 grand, but really this system's worth $70,000 because it's saving you so much money. You're having a rate of return of just under 25%. So I'm not a financial advisor of any sorts, but I do know that a rate of return of 25% is, you can't get that in a CD, you can't get that in a savings account, you can't get that in a bond, you can't get that in mutual funds, you can't get that in the stock market. You can't get this in anything except going solar because you have to buy power. So if you can generate it and eliminate that cost of purchasing power, you're gonna get a return on your money. It's literally impossible. Even if you got a bill at the end of the year, because you use more than what the solar is generating, you're still saving a lot of money and you're still getting a return on your investment. So, 5 years, 11 months is the discounted payback period that the system calculates. Again, not a financial advisor, so if you're a CPA and you know more information on some of this, please leave some details in the comments for some of our viewers so they can have a better understanding of how significant this data is. Now, we're going to take this same system and I'm going to add a battery to it. We're going to add a 10 kilowatt hour battery. And then I'm going to transition it over to net meter or net billing, NEM 3.0. So as you can see, I've added I've added the battery backup equipment. So we got the IQ Combiner 4C, we got the transfer switch, we have the medium backup configuration, which is about 8 to 16 circuits. And then we have one IQ 10T battery, or the Encharge 10. Enphase is still dabbling between the two names. So on our system performance, you can see, look, our self-consumption went up and our export to grid went down. And that's because we were using the battery. So again, we've added these new tools into our proposal software so that way you can see what's going on. So solar generation, batteries charging, exporting to the grid still. A lot of people think they get a battery, they're not going to export to the grid. You're absolutely still exporting to the grid, just not as much. And then look, the battery is going, and it basically stops at midnight. Changes a little bit in the spring. Battery almost gets you about 4 in the morning. Summer, battery's not quite getting you to midnight. and then fall, So most of the time what I find is, a 10 kilowatt hour battery gets you to midnight. And that's really important to know, because that's what you want to be getting to under net billing. So that'll play an important role. So we went from a system that is around $24,000 to a system that's just under $41,000. Your obvious tax credit went up, so now we're looking at $12,000. That gives you a net cost of $28,600 roughly, right around there. Again, we're just looking at cash price. Now, nothing's changed here, still a $294 average electric bill, new bill $3, savings. Well, if we look at the return on investment, look, the savings went up. We were at 4 years, 6 months. Now we're at 7 years, 3 months. Because you're not really saving more money with a battery on net metering. It really doesn't make that big of a difference, because you earn dollar for dollar for your excess energy. The grid's your battery, a lot of people like to say. We look at the detailed financial impact. The net present value went down. We were at $69,000 for just the same solar system, and now we're at $57,000. You would think it'd be worth more because you have a battery, but it's not. So, and your return on investment went down almost 10%. So you still got a great return on investment. There's definitely no doubt about that. But it's not what it was by just buying a solar system under net metering 2.0. Again, this is under net metering 2.0. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this same system and change it to net billing, or NEM 3.0. And you're going to see some pretty drastic changes. Pricing, nothing's going to change in the price. This is a cash price. If you're financing it, there could be additional costs, so kind of keep that in mind. Remember, if you're in our area of Southern California, just visit us online, get that quote. We make it easy. Inquire on our website, give us a call. Right now with our process, we submit your NEM application at the same time we submit for your permit, so that way we get you a valid status. It's really important you get that valid NEM status, so that way you can be grandfathered in under NEM 2.0. You don't have to have the system installed before April. You just have to get a valid NEM status. So here's the cash, here's your cash system under NEM 2. Now we're going to switch it to 3. So here's that same system under NEM 3. Nothing's really changed, right? Everything's the same. But look, electric bill savings. See, now there's an electric bill here. Yeah, what's going on here? Look, what happened to our $145,000 in savings over 25 years? Yeah, you don't get that anymore. So you are going to have a reduced electric bill. This is a cash purchase. If you were financing it, you'd have a new utility bill with Edison as well as your solar payment. So in this model, this system that was previously offsetting your full electric bill, you weren't getting a $300 bill anymore, you're now going to get a $136 electric bill. So if we go down here to the net financial impact, we're looking at 7 years, 8 months. Your estimated net savings is $48,000. Again, this is a cash purchase. Nothing's changed except the program. So you've now prolonged, you went from 4 years, 6 months to 7 years, 8 months to make back your money. And if we look at the detailed financials, we're at a 13.1% rate of return. It's still a good return. It's just, this is you paying cash for the system. This does not look this good under financing. And that's why I'm like, maybe I should be showing you some financing options. So I'm probably going to add a 25-year loan just so that way you compare. But let's just look at it right now at cash. So this is, again, net metering 3.0 or net billing, whichever one you want to call it. Proper terms, net billing. You've prolonged it. You're not saving as much. You're going to save money. You're not saving as much. And again, here it is. This is a solar-only system under NEM 2.0. Would you rather have a return like this, or would you rather have a return like this? It's your choice, because really, it's on you to make the move. If you can go solar right now, now's the time to do it, because this type of return on investment is not going to be here anymore. So let's look at it as a battery. So let's go to the battery. Here it is, just under 41,000. Here's the net metering 3.0 version. Still same price, just making sure you see that. Look, no bill with the battery, just like the solar system, nothing changed. But we add the battery, look, you still get a bill, $25 a month. Again, this you paid cash. Your savings went up. Look, we had a much better savings over 25 years. We got to 80, almost 84%. So that's pretty substantial. But you're still going to get a $25 electric bill. Now, if we go down to the financial impact, look at that. There's basically no difference in if you get a solar-only system versus getting a system with a battery. So that's pretty crazy. 7 years, 10 months versus 7 years, 8 months. It's basically the same return on investment, whether you get your solar-only system under net metering 3.0 or you get a solar system with batteries. That's what they wanted. That's what the California Public Utilities Commission worked towards. They wanted the people that they wanted you to have about the same return on investment. Now, supposedly it's supposed to be better with a battery. I don't see how it can be. You know, you got to get the cost at that certain point, which if you remove the backup capabilities of this system, then yeah, you can get the price down a little bit more, and you could pretty much get to about the same return on investment as the solar-only system under net metering 3.0. So is the solar industry going to die from this? No, it's not. You know, are we going to see a reduction in homeowners going solar? Absolutely. But you got to play both ends here. While the program is changing, so are the utility rates. They're increasing the rates heavily over the next 6 months. And there's going to be probably additional taxes implemented on these utility rates as well. And why would that be? Well, you know, we're switching to an electrified America, you know, for vehicles. So, you know, if the DMV can't, you know, accumulate the necessary taxes for the roads and maintenance, and you can't get that from taxing gas because there's less gasoline vehicles on the roads, well, what are you going to tax? You're going to tax electricity. So even if you get a solar-only system, you're basically helping yourself in that sense. Now, you're locking in your rates. You don't have to worry anymore about rising rates. And that's a really significant thing to keep in mind that I think a lot of people have kind of dismissed and have really pushed like, oh, well, this is going to kill the industry. It's like, you know what? It's expensive, you know? I mean, I got a gas bill last month for $308. And you know what I keep my house at? 67 degrees for like 5 hours a day. And then I keep it at 61 at night. I'm not heating my house that much. I've seen some people posting online a gas bill of $1,000. So if you can now get a gas bill for $1,000 for 1 month, what do you think the cost of electricity is going to be in a couple months? It's going to continue to rise. There's no way around it. So no, the solar industry is not dead because of net billing, because of NEM 3.0, but you're definitely not going to save as much money. So if you're interested in going solar and you want to get under NEM 2.0 and be able to save as much money as you can by going solar now rather than later, you should request your quote from us. You know, we service about 100 miles of Southern California, and you know what we've implemented is basically doing your NEM application the same time we submit for your permit, so that way we can guarantee you're going to be grandfathered in under NEM 2.0. You know, you never know with the utility company, so I wouldn't drag my feet. If they start not processing NEM applications in March, even though the deadline's April that the PUC set in place, there's nothing anybody's going to be able to do. So right now, they're taking about a week. Do I trust them to continue to process NEM applications all the way up until that date? No, I do not, and neither should you. So like I said, if you want to save as much money as you can, share this video and request a quote from us, because you need to spread the word. Help everybody in California, not just the ones in our area. Help people in Northern California. Help people in Central California. You know, we all need to be going solar now rather than later. And you should be asking the solar company you're getting a quote from, at what point do you do my net metering application? Because if they don't do it in the beginning when they submit for the permit, out the door. You want to move on to the next guy. You know, and not a lot of companies are going to be able to implement a policy to do that net metering application in the beginning and do it properly, so that way you get a valid status. It's critical. you get that valid status, and you'll actually receive, as your homeowner, it's your utility bill, you get an email from Edison when you get the valid status. NEM status approved, pending final inspection. You get it. And it's like, cool, you're good to go. We have 1 year then to install the system once you get that notice. You can't ask for extensions. I know some of those you can get up to 3 years with the extensions. I wouldn't hold my breath for 3 years for that. And it's not gonna take us 3 years to install your system, let alone a year. But, as more and more homeowners, start to realize and see this video and see some of the other content that's out there that we've already published, it's going to get busy because it's noticeably different, So thanks for watching. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'd love some of your guys' feedback, so please leave it down in the description below. Do you really think this is going to kill the industry? I don't. I think we're going to see a reduction in the solar industry. Yes, less consumers are going to be going solar, but at the end of the day, electricity rates continue to rise, so I think it kind of balances it out. You're going to need to do something to counter those rising costs and at least give yourself a fixed cost with a solar system with batteries. Well, that's it. Again, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.